Well, I'm supposed to be the only black guy at this party. Shit. Yeah, I know. It's whack.
At the onset of this channel, I produced a video where a young individual who had transitioned was in the process of detransitioning, and over the course of the years, the individual in that video reached out to me and asked me to remove that video, which after, emailing back and forth just to, confirm that it was that person, I did, out of respect. I'm not that type of person who's going to be a dick about these things. But when one door is closed, another one opens. And this individual here is discussing how they're planning to detransition. Now, the main theme that we picked up from the initial video was that they'd come to regret their decision to transition because they wanted to not feel vulnerable, right? Like at the time when they were convinced of, oh, I was born in the wrong body, they had been the victim of a great trauma. And due to that trauma, they wanted to not feel like a victim, and they felt they were under the impression that well, if I were, a boy, I would if I were male, I wouldn't feel as vulnerable, which turned out to not be the case. So it's with all due respect that we're going to go into this individual's video and really, listen to what it is that they have to say about, coming to terms with the what can fairly be called the mistake that they made. Let's go.
So I've always had really weird feelings about my gender identity. Since I was like 4 years old, I would say stuff like, I want to be a boy, I'm not a girl. And in early high school, I was really into like 2013, 2014 Tumblr. So I learned.
Did Tumblr start all this shit? Like, did Tumblr really get all of this nonsense going? Now, I believe Tumblr is a dead site, and there are plenty of other platforms happy to take its space. Looking at you, YouTube. But it wasn't just this. It's clearly not just this. A lot of the artists who have gone on to make shows and content, right? They came from Tumblr. That I believe that woman Rebecca Sugar, who made the show Steven Universe, came from Tumblr. I mean, we're talking about 2013. Yeah, I was busy being an adult, so I wasn't on. I never gone on Tumblr at all. I never had a Tumblr account. It wasn't anything that was that had that interested me. Like there was I was 2013. Yeah. I was in the middle of a family life at that point. So I really can't speak to that website, but it seems as if that spawned a whole bunch of bullshit. Like it really does. Like when, really an overabundance of content and materials that have really tried to take over the mainstream and the forefront. A lot of that creative energy apparently came from that one place. So I'm glad it's dead now. Like they stopped doing adult, quote unquote adult content, and now it's saying like from my understanding that is a doornail. But yeah, that Tumblr did some real fucking damage apparently.
A lot about like gender fluidity and things like that.
Boys, you already know where I stand on this. All right, it's not a real thing. It's bullshit. John Money is a monster and a psychopath. In the fact that, as much as I'd like to sit here and be like, yo, this generation is trash, my generation is trash because my generation is the parents of this generation. You get what I'm saying? And so, like, we did you absolutely no favors letting you sit in front of Tumblr and on, what was that, Penguin Island and shit, and all these other places where people with nefarious and really evil intentions found themselves. So yeah, as far as like when it comes, like, I really think that this was a means in which the concept of gender and, boy, girl, exact same thing, who gives a shit? I do, I care, I give a lot of shits. I think that's really where my generation let the next generation down, because you guys, like, you were supposed to be getting protected from that, and in many cases you were sent to the slaughter.
So I identified as, like, genderqueer when I was, in early high school. And then I also really heavily resonated with what a lot of trans men were saying online. And
other women were ladies, y'all hate each other. Ladies, can y'all please cut this bullshit? Y'all fucking hate each other. But, and thusly, and what's that old saying? Misery loves company. And man, if there is nothing, if you want to sit here and talk about toxic masculinity, man, there is nothing more toxic than a miserable woman. Like, when they sit there like, why do you ask us to smile? Because, if you ain't smiling, it can get real ugly real quick. All right, so, like, yeah, can we grow the fuck up here?
I had this very apparent feeling like I wasn't good at being a girl and that I would just be happier being a boy.
And that's a crazy thing, it's like, you're not good at being a girl, but that's what you were or are. I'm not 100% sure what the status is here, but yeah, that, like, as far as being a girl, vagina, what's the name, ovaries, like, guess what, you're automatically good at it. Like, how many dudes, like, fellas, any of y'all question whether or not you're a good, like, I mean, as far as if you're good at being a dude? No, we just the fuck are. Well, those of us with non-compromised Y chromosomes. But continue.
But then 5 years into being a trans man, I still felt incomplete. I started feeling regret. And so I detransitioned about a year ago, and I feel happier in my own skin than I've ever felt.
That's good. So, I mean, like, did you get, like, I mean, as far as, like, how far did you get in the whole hormones thing? Because, real talk, despite all that fun, not an unattractive lady here, all right? Because you detransition, so I assume you're going back to being a chick. You're not an unattractive lady. And, like, I mean, did you get, like, the surgery to get the, like, do you get, like, I know you can put on a fake one, but, I mean, is the womb still good? Did you, how far along did you get in that path? I mean, fingers crossed, man. Hope for you. Like, that's great. That's awesome. I'm happy that she's happy. Like, that yeah, I can say she at this point in the video, because, she detransitioned. She was going away to being a dude. You can kind of hear it in the voice. But, as she goes back to being a chick, it's just like, this is like the Incredible Hulk. Like, not to be a jerk, but, do things, like, start to go back to normal? Or is this just completely medically uncharted fucking territory? I don't know. Shit, I ain't a doctor. But, that's good. Like, I want people to be happy in their own skin. I prefer it. I don't know, like, nothing of trauma or anything else like that came up. But I did want to have another video up on the channel discussing this, and hopefully, like, yeah, somebody once again gets a little something from it. Like, like, because I don't think it's fair. Like, particularly, like I said, my generation did a fucking number, yo. Millennials, we're trash, dude. And your kids, not mine. I ain't make none of these motherfuckers. But your kids, in too many cases, not every case, not all. Some people grew up. We all grew up different, right? Everybody grew up different. But I think what our generation did to their kids is really it's fucking unexcusable. It isn't. And I can't sit here and make any excuses for it for us at all. I mean, I don't particularly have to because I make none of y'all. But as far as like generationally speaking, yeah, we did a number on y'all. We really did. We really did. So guys, with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like it, toss it a like, dislike, go ahead, do that too. Nobody's scared of you. Sub. If you enjoy my fantastic voice, you want to get videos like this every single day, share, because sharing is caring. And YouTube and Bitchute and like aren't the biggest fans of your boy over here for very obvious reasons. Bang the bell for notifications. Get something from Teespring. Check me out on Patreon as well. Links in the description. Check me out on Odyssey. Check me out on Odyssey. Links in the description. I actually go in the description box and do damage and speak. Let me know. What do you guys think in the comments? It's true, man. Like, yo, like if she can just like, retransition back into Bruce Banner and shit, like go back just fully back into being a woman, not a half bad looking chick, redhead at that. I mean, go ahead, go be the next Mary Jane Watson. Who gives a shit? But hey, you may disagree. You may say like, oh well, once you go and remove your crack, there's no going back. I think there's a lot of material there. Have fun in the comments, all right? Let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.
Your booze mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer. Every breath I take without your permission raises my self-esteem.